Alright guys, in this video we will be going over all the tools we need to edit our images. So all the tools that we have are available right here on the left hand side. The first tool is the move tool. Obviously you can just select on it and then click anywhere on your screen, and right now it says that because none of our layers are selected, and the layers are at the bottom right hand side right here. These are called layers, and right now I have them grouped up in a folder just like your folders in your file, and within that file folder I have files, and each file is called layer. And we will go into great details of how to use layers and how we can uh, use them to our advantages, do different effects or whatnot. But if you don't know, just bear with me. I promise you, we will learn them a lot about them soon enough. So that's the move tool. And by the way, on a side note, if you don't see a rectangle around anything that you selected, for example, I have selected the logo Photoshop layer, and the reason being is because this checkbox right here that says show transform control is not checked on. So if I check it off, the box will go away, and you're like, wait a minute, Mark, how come I don't see anything on it if I select the layer? And that's probably the reason why. So just make sure this box is checked on where it says show transform controls. So that's your move tool. And then you have a rectangular marquee tool, and they have different shapes and sizes, but in a nutshell, what it does is, I'll show you real quick. It will allow you to draw a selection around anywhere on your image. So that's that. So what it will do is after you have selected after you draw the circle, it will draw a marching ant, quote unquote, if you will, around the area where you have selected that. So in order for you to get rid of that marching ant, you just press Control D, and then we'll get rid of those. And then another way to select your image is by the lasso tool or polygon and all the other stuff. Pretty much what it does, a lasso tool, it will allow you to freeform the selection. So in other words, you could just select it any which form that you want, rather be a rectangle or a square or ellipse or somewhat not. So once again, we could just press Control D to deselect it. And then the magic wand tool is my favorite one. What this tool will do is it will, anywhere you click on it, it will select all the pixels within that color. So let's say I'm going to click right here, and it's going to say, oh, by the way, I clicked on a blue color, and it's going to grab all the blue color within its diameter, and the diameter being the tolerance level right here. So if I increase this to be like, say, I don't know, let's just say high number like 100, and then press deselect it, well, and then deselect it, and I click right here, then it's going to select all the blue all around it. So if you want to select something with the magic wand tool, what I would recommend is for you to just have this tolerance level to be low as possible, and obviously play around with it. Sometimes low is not good enough, and other times it might work. So if I were using that tool, I would go anywhere from like 10 to 35. So I'm just going to leave it at 30. So it's selected here, and it only selects that area where we click it. And then move down to the line where it says crop tool. And I'm only going to go over the tools as we will need as a photographers to edit our images. So the rest of the tool, I'm just going to ignore it because we don't really need them. Although Photoshop is full with these great tools and all the stuff that it provides, but we as a photographers, we don't need to use all of them in order to edit our images. So having said that, moving on. So the crop tool, what it will do is it will allow you to draw a selection around your image. So let's say this part right here, and then you will see this box around it. You can just close it off if you wanted to, like any which way you want, and then click on this check box in here, and it will crop your image to that size, your whole image. That's what crop tool does. Obviously, by definition, the name of the word crop will crop it. Duh. Anyway, moving on. So I'm just going to press Control Z to undo that. And then the eyedropper tool, what it will do is it will allow you to pick the color of anywhere you click on it on your image. So let's say if I click on I don't know, let's just say green. See how it draws a little circle, and the color which I pick, it will show up right here on the foreground, and then you have the background color as well in the back. And we will go on that in great detail later on as well. So let me move on. Then we have the patch spot healing tool, healing brush, patch tool, and then red eye. And the spot healing, all these exception of the red eye, all these will do is it will allow you to grab a part of an image and copy it to wherever you want it to copy it to. So let's just use the patch tool. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to say I'm going to draw a selection right over here, and then I'm going to say, wait a second. Well, the reason why I did that is because it has to be on a layer by itself, not on a logo. Actually, the reason why I didn't do that is because, let me find out. It's because I have the logo layer selected, and that's why. So if I want to select anything from here, copy, paste, select and then move over, and then we'll do that. So there you go. That's how you use the patch tool. And then the healing brush tool works the same way. So if I do this and just press Control D, in order for me to use the healing brush tool, I just need to hold Control and just click anywhere, and then just start painting, and then we'll start painting it. And by the way, guys, if you see this little annoying thing wherever you move your cursor, the little circle that moves around it, that's because one of the settings are not checked off. So we can just go in here and then go to clone source, and then where it says show overlay, check that off, and check that off as well. And now if we do that, alt click and then just do it, see that annoying thing is not there anymore. See it? All right. Just a side note, so I'm gonna close this group out. And moving on, I know right now it looks all messy and not the best way of doing it, but we are just learning these tools, so it's okay. So moving on, so we have the brush tool. Pretty much what it will do is, by definition, it will allow you to paint anywhere on the image. And by selecting that, you can select it from here by going to brush, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is B. So let me move that here and click on this, and I'm gonna press the B key, and then it will select my brush tool. And if you want to increase your brush tool size, you can press the open bracket key. Actually, open bracket key will decrease it, and close bracket will increase your brush size. So you make it go really big if you want to. And if you want to change the color of your brush size, you could just go in here, and I just say, I don't know, just pick off the wall color just to show you like that color. And then I'll just lower the brush size up by pressing the left bracket, and then right here, and then pressing the right bracket to increase the brush size, and then right here. I know it looks all weird. Sorry guys, this is just to show you what it is. So I'm just gonna press Control Z, Control Z, and then undo that. So moving on. So we already did the brush tool, so now it's the clone stamp tool. It works just like the patch tool. The only difference is it allows you to select from a selected area. So just like the healing brush tool, it works just the same way. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to copy from here. And this is just to show you, and we will go in great detail later on, like I said. So moving on, we got the history brush tool. I don't really need it as a photographer, so I'm just going to skip that. Eraser tool comes in handy a lot. So if you want to erase something, by definition, it will just erase it. So I'm just erasing the logo part right here, going all crazy on it. I'm going to undo that. And then I'm going to increase the brush size by pressing right bracket. keep pressing it, and you'll see it as it get bigger and bigger and bigger. So not that big. Press the left bracket to make it smaller, and just go right here and just do that. And the gradient tool, as a photographers, we really don't need it. This blur tool, we do come in handy. It does come in handy, and we'll use it in later on this video. And then dodge and burn. Basically, what it does is dodge. It will allow you to, although you don't really see much in here. Let me create another layer up top. Dodge will allow you to make the image, part of your image darker, and actually the dodge will make your image brighter and the burn will make it darker. But we'll look in another technique which is a lot better than using the dodge or burn tools in here. In Photoshop, there's another technique that is called the deconstructive or non-constructive way of using dodge and burn tool. It is so super easy, and I think you guys really gonna like it. We're gonna skip this tool, the pen tool, because as a photographer, we really don't need it. This is more so for graphic designers. We are not graphic designers, well, at least not me. So I'm just gonna skip that. Moving on to the text tool, it works simpler. You just click over here and then just click anywhere and you start typing. So let's just say Mark Kumar or something like that, or whatever you want to type in. And then once you have typed it, you can obviously select the whole thing and change the different fonts depending on what fonts you have in your computer, and change the text size, and then whether you want it to be smooth, crispy, or strong. And after that, you can just click on the checkbox and we'll accept that, select that text. Last but not least, you got the path selection tool. Once again, as a photographer, we don't really use it as much, so we're just going to skip that. And this is the rectangle tool. What this will do is pretty much just draw a rectangle around it, but it will fill it with color. But we can change the color to be something else. As you can see right here, it filled up the color with this color. If I want to change it, I just click on this icon right here and just change it to, I guess, white or something like that. And last but not least, well, second last but not least, we have the hand tool, which will allow us to move the image after we have zoomed in so much somewhere else. And then we have the zoom tool. We can zoom out, or zoom in rather. If you want to zoom in out using the keyboard shortcut, we can press Control minus, it will zoom out, or Control plus, it will zoom in. And if we just press Control 0, it will zoom out to the normal 100% level. All right, guys, so that covers our tools section of this video, and I'll see you in the next video.